Welcome back, I'm Felix, and I'm going to start off with the obvious, and that is the Doordash stuff. I can't remember if I talked about it on the last podcast, but there's so much misinformation going out right now and false stories going out that it's just weird, actually, because both sides are making up stories. Some are saying he planned the whole thing, others are saying he had a door cam, and none of that stuff from what I've seen is true. The only thing we know for sure is that the guy was laying on his couch and she decided to record it. And let's say for argument's sake, he planned the whole thing. She should have just called the cops. But her going on and making a video screaming she was SA'd, that was the problem. Because if she was really a victim of SA, that would not have been her first instinct. At least I hope it wouldn't be her first instinct if she's a victim to go make a video. But the fact she did was weird in itself. And if I did actually see the video where she's videotaped and she's walking away. In the video, she actually says he's asleep. I don't know if she could hear him snoring or what, but she says he's asleep. So you see a naked person asleep and decide to record him. Yeah, you're in the wrong. And let's say the guy was drunk and passed out. He could have actually needed medical attention. He could have actually passed out from alcohol poisoning. And that snoring noise could have been him gargling for his life. As far as I know, he didn't die. But I'm just throwing that out there. It's like, why was your first instinct to break out your camera and record and then go online and talk about how you were SA'd? When reality is you weren't. And I would love it if that girl actually went to, and then somebody probably going to say, I love it, she get assaulted. No, I don't want that. She needs to go to one of those crisis centers and talk to real victims of SA. Then she will learn the difference real quick. She was not SA'd in any way, shape, or form. And there are some people trying to make it seem like it's a state of mind if you're SA'd. Like, no, that's not how that works. Not even close to how that works. And if you're one of those people that think that, again, go to one of those crisis centers and you will find those people there are probably going to beat the crap out of you for thinking that. Because that's just stupid. The whole situation is stupid. Let's be honest. This girl saw this guy laying naked and thought, oh, my 15 minutes of fame. But this is not the way she probably thought it was going to go. Because she's got a lot of people hating on her. And that's the thing. I see more people hating on her than supporting her. Which, honestly, I think is awesome. And so many people are making fun of her. And there's a lot of women making fun of her, too. Which is good, actually. Because that's not SA. And to make light of SA in such a way is ridiculous. And unfortunately, social media has made it seem like it's okay to do that. It's not okay. One, false allegations can ruin a man's life forever. And that takes away from real victims. When a real victim tries to come forward because of people like that Doordash girl, they're not taken as serious as they should have been. And that's the downside, unfortunately. And as we were talking about believe all women, this is why you don't believe all women. You forget women are humans, which means humans lie. Humans, we lie. We lie all the time. So we lie to ourselves, we lie to each other. So to think that no woman would lie about something like that is false. So and clearly she was lying. And a prime example of someone who you could say almost was an SA victim is that Twitch Emeru, a Twitch streamer. I can't think. I was trying to say streamer and think of her name at the same time. I'll say Streameru, but just Twitch streamer Emeru was at Twitchcon doing a meet and greet, and some guy just randomly walked up on her, started hugging and kissing on her, or trying to kiss on her. Lucky enough, it got chased off. She could have easily have died. Actually, that could have been a horrible situation, which that could have been the end of her life. And it could have been even worse. The guy could have tried to grab on her in places that he shouldn't. Well, he shouldn't have been touching her at all. In that case, that was more TwitchCon or Twitch to stream. I don't know how to. My brain is like slipping up on Twitch, but that's Twitch's fault for not having proper security. Now she's a victim. The Doordash girl's not a victim. Emery's a victim. Now, how big of a victim that she feels that she is, that's up to her, because she's the one that was assaulted. I don't know if the guy Now that could actually be construed as SA, but she was actually assaulted. We saw her actually get assaulted. The DoorDash girl was not assaulted. Big difference. And it's just, I wish people wouldn't be so quick to say they were SA'd when in reality they weren't. And that's like the Me Too movement. There was a lot of women, unfortunately, more women than men, coming forward saying they were victims of the Me Too movement. And then when you would hear their scenarios, like, it was like either just a bad date or not even close to being part of it. There were women who were abusing the Me Too movement. And when guys would come forward, they would abuse those guys. They would make fun of those guys or tell them, this isn't about you, and yell at them. And if guys tried to show support for the Me Too movement, they attacked them. And it was weird. So social media has made this whole scenario, one, men versus women. Two, that just saying you're SA'd is okay, even though it's not true. It's not okay. We really need to stop doing that. And when men come forward about it, it's not okay to attack them over it. So I'm not 100% blaming social media, because even without social media, I feel like that girl probably would have done something like that. Just because she wants her fame by any means necessary. And people like that are dangerous. So you got to watch out for people like that. And I don't know. And then I saw someone talking about both sides could sue people on the internet, where they just sit back and start taking names and sue them. Reality is, you wouldn't be able to sue. Majority of those cases aren't going to go forward. Because, one, you got to prove that they were really defamation of character. And unfortunately, a lot of those defamation of character, especially on social media, they can say it was based on information they had at the time. And the reality is it was based on information they had at the time. And whether the information was real or not, it doesn't matter. Because if they got to go to the floor, they'll just argue that, and the case will get tied up in court for so long that you'll just give up. And that's what they're counting on. Now, I'm not saying either one will have the money to go after people to begin with. But yeah, that whole thing is just weird. That DoorDash girl should never posted the video. And she doesn't understand why she got in trouble for posting the video. From what I understand, you posted a video that was unedited. I've seen the edited version, but you posted the unedited version. That's why you keep getting kicked off. You can't post nudity. Granted, nudity does get posted on TikTok all the time, but they immediately caught yours, and that's why. And then it didn't help that you would run around screaming essay. Then you tried to claim that DoorDash fired you because you reported getting essay. Now, they fired you because you videotaped a customer without their consent. That customer was in the home at the time. And that's another thing. And so many lawyers have weighed in saying it actually doesn't matter. He was in his home. You looked into his home and videotaped him. And by her own admission, if you go back and watch the video, she literally says he was asleep. So she knew he was sleeping. So, yeah, she's wrong. She's so wrong. But also, dealing with this, my brain went blank. AI, that's what I was going to say. AI has been getting really interesting. And the reason I bring up AI in conjunction with this, with DoorDash Girl, is because there's a lot of AI DoorDash videos. There was one, I swear to you, I thought was Family Guy. It wasn't Family Guy. It was it Sora? Is that the name of it? The AI? But it was that. I thought it was Family Guy, and it wasn't. I was like, that's not Family Guy. And there's one that's anime looking, and it was awesome. The girl sits on the guy and then screams she was assaulted. It's like, you sat on him. And what's funny about that, to me, that anime one, is there's a lot of anime where the girl's in the wrong and goes to smack the guy. And I've seen a couple of animes where the girl walks in on the guy and goes to smack the guy, and the guy blocks the smack and smacks them. And it's like, you walked in on me. Like, you don't get to smack me. I get to smack you. But yeah, there's a bunch of them. There's a bunch of like live action looking ones. Yeah, there's so many videos making fun of her. It's not even funny anymore. It's hilarious. And And then there's doing the Disney parody stuff. There's one where it looks like it's Up, but it's not Up. And the guy's going to Thailand for the first time, meets a woman, and she's like, I got a secret to tell you. And then the title of the thing pops up, Lady Boy. I was like, Jesus. So AI is getting better. I don't know if it's getting good enough to do an entire animation yet, because it still has its glitches here and there. But doing little clips so far have been interesting. The more people use it, the better it's going to get. I do like something, I saw some where a guy said, we didn't invent AI. We invented a program. I can't think how he worded it, but he's pretty much like, we didn't invent AI. And the reality is, we technically have not invented AI at all. We invented programs that are very adaptive, is what we invented. Because AI is really artificial intelligence. And to me, we're not there yet. We're nowhere close to an AI. Now, as for these videos and pictures and images, those have been awesome. Yeah, AI has come a long way from when it first came out. When you see those weird pictures of hands doing crazy things. But it's come a long way. It's still got a long ways to go before it's perfect. And that's when we're really going to have problems. When it gets to that point where you 100% cannot distinguish between the two, so many people are going to be getting set up. Trust me, they're going to be getting set up. There's going to be so many fake videos of people doing stuff. And it's going to be almost next to impossible to distinguish between the two. And the person being accused will have to prove beyond a shadow of doubt it's not them. And even then, that person, it could really be them. And they create AI video proving their innocence. So, yeah, it's going to get really bad out there. But one thing I was thinking about when I was thinking about the AI situation, I was thinking about those justice warrior people and the laws. Because I was thinking about AI and law and all that, how that's going to affect laws in the future. But I was thinking about, you always hear about these justice warriors putting the cops in their place and all that stuff. And one of the things I realized, a lot of those justice warriors, I would say 90 to 99% of them do not know the law. Because they always talk about, it's a public place, it's a public place. There's different layers of public places, of what's considered public place. Like Walmart, we'll use Walmart example. A lot of people think they can film in Walmart. The reality is, if Walmart puts a policy in place saying you can't film, you can't film. Businesses have the right to not do business with you. If they did not have that right, then yeah, then that wouldn't matter. But businesses have the right to refuse your service. They have a right to kick you out. They have a right to do all that. Walmarts don't, in most Walmarts, they don't allow you to carry guns inside. And they can kick you out for that. It doesn't matter that the First Amendment right says, what the First Amendment says. Walmart can place a thing on their store saying, hey, we don't allow guns. We don't allow this. They're allowed to do that. And just like businesses can say, hey, we don't want you recording here, they're legally allowed to do that. So you thinking that, oh, freedom of speech, I can record. No, you can't actually. They can actually kick you out. And then people talking about, I can record outside the business. True to an extent. If you're aiming inside the business, there is some legalities to that too, to where you can't do that. You're still filming the business. You're still filming inside the business, technically. And so that's when the law can get involved and make you move along. And a lot of them think, oh, no, I'm right. And what you don't see is where they moved along. They try to edit the video, make it look like they were right. And the reality is they weren't right. And then I watched one video where the guy had this long stick camera, like up in the air, going over, it was like a 12-foot wall. And it got a camera going over it. I'm like, what the hell? Why are you... If I have a business and I have a 12-foot wall and you're recording my business, I'm probably just going to beat your ass. Because that's weird. That is fucking weird. Why do you need to record my business that bad? I'm going to think something's wrong with you. I'm going to think you're a pervert. I'm thinking all the negative stuff, and I'm just going to beat your ass. And I'll take the consequences, but I'm going to put you down. I'm going to put you in the hospital. Because that's just weird. And then they got the nerve to carry mace, and mace people like, you're recording my business. Why? I'm not open, especially if it's a business not open to the public. Guess what? You don't get to decide what gets put on the internet when it's my business. And then when I see them going into police station stuff recording, police stations as well are allowed to put rules and regulations in place saying you can't record. And a lot of people think that's not true. It's actually true. They can actually say no recording. And a lot of them say no recording for privacy purposes. Now, that people coming in and out of the police station don't want to be recorded. They can actually say no recording. And a lot of people think that the freedom of speech and the right to record anywhere applies to everything. It doesn't. And a lot of hospitals actually say no recording for that same reason, privacy reasons. And it's just like, what part of privacy reasons do you not get? People don't want to be recorded in their most vulnerable moment. There was a situation where a woman pretty much was naked in a horrible accident. They had to cut her clothes up, and the guy's like, I have a right to record, I have a right to record. And the cop's like, no, you don't, and chased them off. And I've said it before, I'm not a huge supporter of cops, but in that instance, I kind of wish the cop would have tased the guy. It's like, this person's half dead. They're naked because paramedics had to cut their clothes off to save their life. And you're more worried about getting a good shot than that person. So, yeah, I really don't like them. And then, that's like with the cameras in dash cams. So many people got dash cams, and I've said this before. They think they're right, and they go and commit all these driving acts thinking they're in the right. Like, I watched one just recently where a guy was driving, and you could clearly see the car had pulled out. He guns it. You can actually hear him gunning it and to go around the car. All he had to do was slow down, and then he beeps his horn at the car and keeps going. It's like, what the hell is wrong with you? All you had to do was slow down. The car had already pulled out. You didn't need to do all that. And then there was another one where a guy hit the person, and you could clearly tell they didn't hit the brakes. They just rammed into the person, thinking they were going to get paid. And they didn't. The insurance held them at fault because it was proven that there was plenty of time for you to brake, and you chose not to. So they had to pay for both cars. Just because you got a dash cam doesn't make you right. It just makes you a person with a dash cam. I don't get these people who get these dash cams and immediately think they can do whatever they want. No, you can't. It's just like those Justice Warrior people. And with the Justice Warrior people, why don't you ever show your face? What are you scared of? You remind me of those cops in ISIS who cover their faces when they know what they're doing is wrong. If you're so adamant what you're doing isn't wrong, to show your face. To all of those people, the cops, the ISIS, the Justice Warrior people with the cameras, show your face. If you're so adamant what you're doing isn't wrong, show your face. But they won't. They won't show their face. And to shift gears, I was thinking of something the other day. My wife has had to work from home. She had surgery, so she's been working from home. And when it's just me, I get whatever I want to eat. Sometimes my daughter's home from work or class. I'll include it. Not all the time, because sometimes she'll be asleep and I'll sneak and get myself some. Cause I don't like getting other people food. Because 9 times out of 10, they always want to modify it to the point where I'm just like, dear God, why even get that? It's like, there's no point in getting it. It's no longer that sandwich, what you did to it. And it's like, get something else. It's like, what about this sandwich? This is closer to what you want. You can modify that one. And they don't. It's like they get this sandwich. Or they do this. It's like, Jesus. Or they get so much stuff. It's like, why do you need all that? It's like, just get the meal. It's like, but sometimes you just got to be selfish when it comes to going and getting food. That's like when I used to work with people like in person. I hated going to get food because they would ask me to get food for them. And I would do it because they've done it for me. But then when I got to one place, my next job, I made sure not to do that for people. And if they offer to get me food, like, no, I'm good. I'll get it myself. It's all right. I realized I don't have to do that. I don't have to let people get me food. I don't have to let people do that. And it's just, I feel like sometimes you just need to be selfish. It's one of those things where, like, if you want to run out and grab yourself something real quick without telling anyone, I think you should go do it. Just go do it. You don't have to do it all the time. Every now and again is okay. And being selfish sometimes is a good thing for you, for mental reasons. Because that's like doing for yourself. You have to do for yourself from time to time. If you don't, it can put you in a bad place mentally. So every now and again, just do for yourself. Go be selfish. And like I said, you don't have to do it all the time. every now and again. I mean, like once a week or every other week, do something selfish for yourself. And if someone around you is mad because you're being selfish and doing something for yourself, that's not someone you want to be around to begin with. They're not someone you need to be around at all, because that person is probably more selfish than you and doesn't care, versus you who actually cares, and they hate the fact that at least one day a week or every other day they can't take advantage of you. So you need to be careful being around that person, because that person's definitely not a good person to be around. And I don't understand people who are that selfish too. I never understood. And then they have the nerve to get mad. It's like, why are you getting mad? I help you out all the time. And one time I don't help you out, I'm selfish. And that's probably another reason why I don't have friends, because I got sick of friends. I've said this before. I want friends, but I don't want friends. I want to be the selfish one, basically, in the friendship. Like, I call on you when I need you, and you're there. And don't call on me. Yeah. But yeah, I realized that I enjoy the selfishness of going to get myself food and not have to get anyone else anything. It's fun, because I know it sounds crazy to say it's fun, but it is fun when you can go grab yourself something to eat and come back and enjoy it and not have to worry about anyone else. Because a lot of times if you go get food, let's say you're going to get, we'll just say McDonald's. This is a popular place. Most places know McDonald's. Or most places. Most people know McDonald's. Let's say you're going to McDonald's, you're getting just a Big Mac, fry, and a drink. And that's it. But then someone found out you're going to McDonald's, they want this, and this, and oh, get it made this way. I want this, but not this, but this, add this, do this, and this. It's like, Jesus. And then it's like, yep. Because originally, say like you didn't plan on using the app, and you're like, ah. So you got to break the app out, because you know you're not going to remember all that. And got to put it in and do this and do that. And it's like, okay, what do you? Then if they're on the app and they're looking to see something, oh, I want that too. I want to, like, you do know I'm paying, right? Of course, if you're your spouse, that's different. But still, it's just like, you know, I got to carry all that back, right? And most of the time, they're not going to help you. So it's like you just gotten used to them not helping you. There have been times where when I'm going to get stuff, I told my wife, you're coming with me. Like, I'm not carrying all that by myself. Well, I make the kids come with me. Like, one or both of you are coming with me. And we go, they don't have a say. My daughter's 18 and she still doesn't have a say. If we're getting a bunch of stuff, she's coming with me or my son's coming with me. They don't have a say. And neither does my wife sometimes. It's like, you want A through F, you're riding along because you're going to help me hold this stuff and carry it. Well, yeah, sometimes it's good to be selfish. And speaking of selfishness, I have been hooked on mobile games lately, just mind-numbing games. I think I talked about this before, but I just hop on there and start just playing. Like, I'm playing a farming game now, and it's just task after task after task. It's actually boring, but it's mind-numbing, and I like it. I know it sounds crazy to say it's boring and I like it, but I think it's because I don't have to think about it. Now, I work IT, and there are times I'll get a situation, it's like, why did I answer the phone? And because I got to use my brain. Some of the fixes are easy for me. Others, I'm like, what? I've never even heard of this program. What department are you in? What do you use this for? And then in some of those cases, I find they are not supposed to be using that program because there's a whole bunch of security issues. So I contact security. It's like, are they allowed to use this? And security's like, no. It's like, who are you talking to? It's like, and I rat them out. I rat it out. One pretty much a whole department in that program got turned down. And then another issue, and then there was another issue where they weren't supposed to be using the program, but they were able to run it up the flagpole to the higher ups, and they were like, okay, let them have it. But there are times where the higher ups, when they go, like if the higher ups push back and security can go, look, if we allow them to use this, this is why we said no. But if you want them to use it, we'll let them use it. And security's just kind of like, we got to make sure everything's noted, everything's dotted. Because, if it goes south, they cover their own butt. But there have been times security pushed back and it's like, no, we cannot let them use this program. There's such a huge security risk. But yeah, playing these games, these mind-numbing games have been fun. Like, I have a lot of puzzle games, and I haven't been I have not been playing them because it requires me to use my brain. But the farming game, I don't have to use my brain. I just got to run around doing stuff. Collect this, collect that, build this, build that. But yeah, it's just mind-numbing fun. And I need to find a couple more games like that. I miss playing games like that. It's just fun. But yeah, sometimes just vegging out is a lot of fun. And I remember one time where we were talking about multitasking, and I brought up, well, there have been several articles proving that multitasking actually doesn't increase productivity. In some cases, it hinders it. That they found that people actually do a much better job on single task. Like if you give them a single task to do, that usually comes out way better than having a multitask. And the truth is, it's true. I don't need a study to tell me that. I've seen it myself firsthand. I know it myself firsthand. That I've seen people who are good at multitasking, but if you give them a single task, they will dominate that task. They will make it the best of the best. Versus if you give them like 3 tasks, they'll do a good job on all 3. But if you give them one at a time, each one will be perfect. And there are some people who can make them perfect all 3 times, but those people usually burn out pretty easily. So, yeah, multitasking is not always cracked up to be. But so many people, so many companies still want you to be able to multitask. And it's like, what do you mean by multitask? Because they're actually not talking about you being able to do like several projects at once. Because a lot of times they find out you're working more than one project. They kind of like, oh no, we need you to focus just on this project. So it's not that they want you to be able to work all these different projects at once. I think businesses forgot what they actually wanted in multitasking. What they wanted for you to be able to handle this situation, and if another situation arises, be able to handle that as well. That if they're going on at the same time, you need to be able to handle both situations. Versus, we have this high-end project, we need you to focus on that project and nothing else. Because I think back in the day when you multitask, there wasn't like a whole bunch of stuff. Versus now where you can make, especially if you're a programmer and you're trying to program multiple things, you could be programming one program A does this and program B does that, and you're working on both of them, and you forget which one you're working on, you could screw up the program. I don't know if they ever do that with programmers, to have them working on more than one project like that, but yeah, single tasks have been proven to be much more effective. And it's also been proven that multitasking versus doing a single task at a time doesn't get done any faster. The only way multitasking works, really, in my opinion, if, let's say task A and task B were actually together. Task A, you got to work it up so far before you can do task B. But you look over task B and you realize, oh, there are some things I can do while I'm waiting on task A to finish. So you get task A started, go work on task B to get stuff situated and ready to go. Then when task A finish, you combine task A with task B to become task C. And then now you're back to just one project. So in that way, multitasking can work, because while A's doing this thing, you're doing the B, and you got B ready to go. You've done as much as you can on B without A. Combine them and you get C. And in that way, multitasking works. But overall, I've seen multitasking not work, and it's just like, what was the point of all that? It was ridiculous. I actually had conversations in my head for stuff. I made some recordings, and I didn't record everything. I don't know why I didn't record everything. I'm just not sure. I've said it before, I'll come up with ideas to talk about and subjects, and then I'm in a place where I can't just make a note or something, and it's like, oh, I need to make a note, but I can't. And I need to figure out a way to be able to make a quick note, even if I'm in an awkward situation. Because there's so many times I've come up with ideas for stuff, and I just can't make a note about it. Like just now, I was thinking about, when I was doing these stories, when I was talking here, I was trying to remember something else that I talked about, and I cannot remember it. Oh, my health. My health. That's one thing I can talk about right now is I finally got out and went for a walk. And I discovered I could not engage my calf muscles. Like my feet were bending as I walked, but my calf muscles were barely moving. And when it was all said and done, I was breathing heavy. I could feel stuff coming out of my lungs, like I had a fluid in my lungs that was coming out, and I did have to spit afterwards. And my calf muscles would not engage. It was like I was walking stiffly, like I was walking just with my feet flat, but I wasn't. And it hurt so bad. I didn't even make it that far. And it was just weird. It was like, what the hell? So exercising may not be in my future right now. It feels like I'm still recovering. Back in the 14th of October, I had a muscle cramp from hell, which caused me to black out. And then this week, the week of the 25th here, I got COVID. No, it was last week. The end of last week I got COVID, and this week I'm just getting over it. So between the two, I'm hurting. And you would think as sick as I was too, that I would have lost some weight, but I didn't. I just maintained somehow. Because I wasn't eating actually when I had COVID. I felt nauseous every time I ate. And I did throw up a couple times. And it was just like, what the hell is going on? I'm getting my ass beat and I'm not even doing anything. I don't even go anywhere to catch diseases and stuff. It was like my wife had it and I got it, but we think our son somehow had it because he kept complaining that it felt good, but he was still, he's a kid. He was still moving around. So I think he had it first and gave it to us. And then my daughter passed out at work and had to walk up 2 flights of steps to go check on her. Because work, she wanted her mommy and daddy, so we went to check on her. And they took her to the hospital, and we did explain to her, no, we didn't, that she didn't have to do the ambulance. You don't have to get in the ambulance. But, yeah. It's been tiring 2-3 weeks here. I just want the month to be over so I can start over. And then I got this, coach on this program I've signed up for, and now I regret signing up for. My wife made me sign up for it. And it's like, I regret signing up for it because the coach is getting on my nerves. She keeps trying to call to have a conversation. And when she calls, I'm at work. I'm working. Like you're doing, you're working. I know this is your job, and she asked about doing chat and stuff. And I told her chat, and she's still trying to call me. So now I'm just going to start ignoring her. I'll respond when I respond. And I stopped weighing myself because I haven't done anything. My eating's all over the place. My wife isn't help because she wants to order out all the time. And I sometimes I'll tell her, just go ahead and order. She goes, no, you have to order. I was like, no, I don't. And then she'll get even more mad. And it's like, I just don't order now. It's like, I'm not ordering. If I don't want something, you're not going to make me get something. It's like, I'll feed myself. And she's gotten better at not trying to force me to order when she orders stuff. I think what it is she wants me to be guilty with her, eating bad. It's like, no, I'm good. And I'm trying to get this weight off. I need to focus more on my eating. But I feel like I've cut back a lot, but obviously I've just cut back to where I'm maintaining. Because my highest weight was in the 80s, and I'm in the 60s now. I was in the high 80s. 388 was my highest. And I've gotten as low as 361, and I've stayed in the 360s. So obviously I got to cut back more, but it feels like I'm not eating nowhere near as much as I used to. But it still is a lot, apparently, obviously. Otherwise, I would have lost the weight by now. So I'm going to have to figure something out, even cut my portion sizes down even more. Not get fast food nowhere near as much. I was doing pretty good until my wife actually started working from home. I don't blame her. But yeah, I'll get there. But working out right now is not an option. At least not my legs. I haven't tried my upper body. But just trying to walk was murder, man. It was murder on my lungs. It was murder on my legs. So I don't know what I'm going to do other than just watch my weight. Make sure to not overeat. All right, everyone. I haven't made a really long video in a long time. I should think about. I used to make hour-long videos. now the longest I think I make is maybe 35 minutes. And that's okay, because I'm going to take a break here once I hit 100 and reevaluate everything. I might still make videos just maybe once a month, because I talked about that before in the beginning. Maybe go to once a month making a video, so that way I can make an hour-long video. But and I talked about making shorts for all the videos. I'm not 100% sure now if I want to do that, actually, if I want to bother. I might do it. I may not. I don't know. But but overall, I actually do enjoy making a podcast. It's just making sure I have stuff to talk about. And sometimes it's hard. And I try to make notes. And I was getting good at it, but now I'm getting bad at it again. But hey, what are you going to do? Besides take a break. But that's that. All right, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and everyone take care. Later.